Robert Bobert is from a neighborhood called the Butte aux Cailles in the southeast of Paris. He's the son of Jewish craftsmen who arrived in France in the 1930s. His childhood friend, Henri Bek, lived opposite his parents' workshop.
Il m'attendait devant l'épicerie.
He was waiting for me outside the grocery shop. We didn't usually wait for each other, but the day that we began wearing the yellow star, he knew that I had it too, and he preferred that we went to school together. It was a neighborhood where there were far fewer Jews compared to the 11th or the 20th districts.
There weren't many of you in your class.
There were only 2 Jews, him and I.
Henri Bek may have survived wearing the star, which Jews were forced to wear at the end of May 1942, but he didn't escape the roundup of Jewish families in July and the deportation to Nazi camps, just like 12 other pupils from Henri's school. Robert Bobert decided to write a book about their story, in which the narrator, Berg, speaks to Henri Bek directly.
Writing about Bek didn't come to me as an idea, but he was really more of a presence. I said to myself, if I write to him, I'm not bringing him back to life, but I'm making him present. I have to keep writing to you regardless, and just because you won't answer doesn't mean that you won't be part of the story. Let's keep our friendship alive.
Henri would have just remained a name in Robert's book, but his memory has now been immortalised in the Butte aux Cailles. In January 2020, a simple piece of paper with his name was placed on the building where he and his family lived.
There you go. It was just here that this piece of paper was put by the Union of Jewish Students of France. And when I heard that these 2 children who had lived here and had been arrested and deported, I was moved, touched, and it raised questions. And this led me to start researching them and their family.
For 2 years, Michel Aune studied archives from the Holocaust Memorial, the Ministry of Defense, and the Town Hall in Paris. He managed to retrace Henri's life. Along with his parents, Henri also had 3 brothers.
They were a family who had fled from anti-Semitism and misery in Poland. They left a small town called Krasnik. They came to France because they hoped for a new life, in a country where Jews had the same rights as any other inhabitants. And in the end, they were arrested and rounded up by French policemen. They were then exterminated in Poland, in a camp which was located a few kilometers away from the town that they came from.
During his research, Michel also discovered that Henri Bek had a 26-year-old sister. She left Paris 1 week before the Veldiv roundups. With her son, she moved to Marseille to be with her husband, a former Legionnaire soldier. For 2 years they lived in the city where they felt safe. This was until the French militia found them, a time Jacques, Henri Bek's nephew, remembers well.
My father, my mother, who was pregnant with my sister at the time, and I were all arrested on the 27th of May 1944 because of a tip-off from the building's concierge. My father was deported, and we never saw him again. And my mother and I were detained in the consignment section in the Conception Hospital in Marseille.
Jacques, along with his mother and his sister, who was born in detention, were all still alive when Marseille was liberated 3 months later. Jacques doesn't like to think about this period. He doesn't even look at photos his mother kept.
I know they're there. I know I can see them whenever I want, but I don't look at them often.
Among the photos, there's one of 2 little boys.
In this photo, we see my uncle Henri, who is around 11 to 12 years old, and myself. I'm almost 2 in this photo.
These photos helped Michel Aune complete his research. He managed to find the descendants of the Bek family last year.
What Michel has told me about my family has allowed me to anchor myself, to attach myself to a time and space in history. I'm more secure now.
qu'auparavant.
Thanks to Michel On's efforts, on the 20th of January, a plaque was unveiled at the address where the Bek family were rounded up in Paris. At the ceremony, Jacques Woder was able to meet Robert Baubert. He gave him a photo of Henri, his childhood friend.
It's 80 years on, 80. And he brings me a photo of Bek. I'm still so moved by this moment, it's hard to talk about. Excuse me, to see his face again, his young face.
De revoir son visage d'enfant.